Cupid is gonna tell you why. No sugarcoating, we're saying it straight. Bigfoot, alien secrets to break. No sugarcoating, the truth on display. Jericho and Paul, bring it your way. Footsteps in the woods, lights in the sky. Some call it crazy, we just ask why. Laugh if you wanna, but you just might see there's more to the world than they want it to be. No sugarcoating, we're saying it straight. Bigfoot, alien secrets to break. No sugarcoating, the truth on display. Jericho and Paul, bring it your way. Truth or a tale, come and see. We're gonna have some fun, y'all.
Are you a jerky jerk?
Oh, yeah! Dang it. Hey, let me get a piece.
No can do. This is my last piece of RJ's beef jerky.
RJ's Beef Jerky. Real jerky for real jerky jerks.
You owe me jerky.
Are you ready to live your best life but wonder how to combine beauty and wellness? At Arbonne, they believe in a holistic approach to beauty, health, and well-being. Everyone can flourish. They develop world-class products with botanicals rooted in cutting-edge science. Arbonne is the #1 global brand for healthy living inside and out. Embrace a healthier mind, stronger body, and more beautiful skin. Energize, radiate, shine, and thrive with clean products that are guaranteed to work. Arbonne offers a 90-day risk-free guarantee. If you're not happy or you feel like Arbonne isn't giving you the results, get your money back. Want to know how to get your skin, mind, and body back on track? Reach out to Heather Martinez, your authorized Arbonne independent consultant, at 606-344-0217. Call or text. She can save you hundreds with special deals and promotions. Again, Heather Martinez, 606-344-0217. Guys, summer's here. That yard you've had a break from all winter is ready for some maintenance. Those trees need trimmed, those branches need removed. That landscaping needs touched up or redone. Give our guys at Willie Gardens a call. Locally owned and operated, they've been helping and serving the community for over a decade. There's not a job too big or too small, from lawn care to maintenance to landscaping to tree and junk removal. Willie Gardens can handle all your outside needs. Give the folks at Willie Gardens a call for a free estimate to get your yard looking like $1,000,000. Want to see some of their work? Go check out their Facebook page. That's Willie Gardens, 606-344-8790. Looking for a realtor who won't stop until you're holding the keys to your dream home or celebrating the sale of your house? Heather Martinez, brokered by Sean Rogers Realty, is a go-getter with grit. She brings unmatched energy, relentless hustle, and a client-first always mindset to every transaction. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, she's not here just to show you homes. She's here to win for you. With fast response times, local market expertise, strategic negotiator, 100% committed to your goals. She doesn't believe in good enough. She believes in exceptional. Make your real estate journey smooth, exciting, and above all, successful. Heather Martinez, 606-344-0217. In a world where feelings are protected and men have traded big, beautiful beards for man purses and man buns, comes to you a podcast you always wanted and never knew you needed. A podcast where feelings are left at the door and conversations happen, unfiltered and no sugarcoating. What is going on? Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, all the streaming networks. How are you guys doing tonight? Thank you for the It Was a Nice Song. Sorry I can't read the name, but yeah.
Oh, that's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah, that's our first commenter from YouTube.
That is awesome. Well, thank you. That song was written to us by Ronnie Bright. He is the owner and official sponsor of our podcast. That's RJ's Beef Jerky.
Yeah, so definitely check RJ's Beef Jerky out. I mean, some of the best tasting jerky I've ever stuck in my mouth. I'm telling you, it make your tongue slap your brains out.
Made right here in our hometown, Corbin, Kentucky. Ronnie's a veteran. He's a preacher. Good man. If you watch some of the clips, you'll see Ronnie. You'll listen to him. I mean, great guy. So glad that he could be a part of what we're doing.
Oh, that's my son.
Ha! Well, thank you for watching on YouTube.
Now I feel stupid.
So, without further ado, our guest tonight is Mr. Keith Green.
Boom. Back in action.
Yes, sir. Glad to be here.
So, you've already been on once. We got the spill of who you are, what you like, what's your taste buds.
If you've not watched that episode, go back and watch it.
Yeah, definitely.
Because we are picking up where we left off in the last episode.
Because every time somebody new comes to the show, for some reason the show always ends on that awesome cliffhanger. So we're picking up that cliffhanger, carrying on with the conversation.
Right on.
A conversation that you started.
I did start it.
And it's a racial conversation.
Yeah.
Very racial. That Paul is scared to talk about.
Well, because it is, to a lot of people, it's a tough conversation to have.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this is a no sugarcoating podcast. These are three grown adults that can be civilized and have a conversation.
Yes, sir.
And that, one thing that I remember that Keith said, he goes, I told you I'm not afraid of nothing. And that includes being wrong. And I feel the same way. So it's going to be me and Jericho, ignorant on what it's like to be black.
Yeah.
And Keith, being ignorant on what it's like to be a broke hillbilly.
They're white.
I'm just a visitor in your world. That's what I am. No.
Well, see, but that's funny, though. I mean, being the broke hillbilly, though, like, you've traveled.
Yeah.
You've lived in other states. You lived in bigger cities, smaller cities. So you've got to see a very vast population, different cultures and all this and that. And
And to be fair, we were sharing stories of growing up poor, and Keith's like, let me be honest with you fellas, I didn't really grow up poor.
Yeah.
So
But
again,
but even though I didn't grow up poor,
you had the cousins or whatever,
I know. But we still share. We still had spam.
right?
We all knew it. Like we all know what a switch is.
We all know what a switch.
We know all the switch is.
but
We-
do you know the braided switch?
Yeah, I've heard about them. I've heard about them. I was once I got the taste of the switch, I knew not to worry about going for the next level.
right? You
Which is
only,
great.
you only want that taste.
I
at
didn't
once.
need to reinforce one.
It's a different experience
Yeah.
because then they come unbraided, so you're getting hit 3 times.
Oh.
See, I never got hit with a braided switch. So that's more of a Jericho story than it is a Paul story.
Oh, my mom loved it.
Yeah,
My dad never done the braided. It was always my mom.
got you.
That was her go-to. That was her MO.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but she admired it.
yeah. My mom had a belt on the door. Like my mom had a belt on the door, and it was just always there,
Yeah.
kind of as a reminder to not get out of line.
Yeah, no, that's what we don't make me take my belt off.
Yeah.
That was the line that we got all the time.
And even though I grew up on the coast in the city, y'all were here. We all know what that is,
Like Jericho, you were born here in Corbin too, right?
I was raised here, yeah.
But you were not born in Corbin.
I was born in Jellicoe.
I was literally born 2.5 miles from this shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, I don't know why my mom had us in Jellicoe, because she grew up in Knox County. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. She said no, Jellicoe's hospital at the time was better than Corbin's or something. I don't know, because we have no other than me coming out of that cooter in Jellicoe Hospital.
That's the only thing you got to remember about Jellicoe.
Yeah, that's the only affiliation I have with it.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a man that was raised in a woman's body,
Yeah.
but then she gave birth to me.
I don't know where you're going with that.
That's it. We all.
I didn't know if the confession was going to come about.
I didn't know where
So
I
I'm
was going. It was like,
you know what I mean?
kind of feel like we all started at the same place.
Yeah.
Oh, but then she gave birth.
Which I was looking at this thing about artificial wombs. They're talking about they were starting to do so that they would
Austin's so
put
stupid.
the eggs and the sperm together and put it in a womb, and it's like a robot, and it would incubate, and then they would feed the baby and everything, and grow it out of that.
That's
the
some
whole thing.
Matrix stuff, ain't it?
That's a major, yeah. And we're not far off from it. I don't think.
We are harvesting humans, growing humans.
You're gonna have a human garden.
So, first question I've got to ask you:
Yes, sir.
OJ, guilty or not?
Is this podcast on right now?
It's on. We live. We
It's live.
Truth. I want the truth.
Live.
And people gonna watch this.
People are watching.
So
people
don't be scared.
from the African American community is gonna be watching this.
Probably not a lot.
Only
but
if you share it.
I have to plead the fifth one. P. Diddy did do it though.
100%. P. Diddy
Did
it.
OJ do it?
Bill Cosby 100% dropping roofies.
Yes, 100%.
And I understand.
No, OJ.
Fifth on the OJ.
Got played. Listen, when I was a kid, my dad owned a mattress store. I think I probably shared that on the thing. My dad owned a mattress store, and 24/7. When I got off school, I would go to the store. I had to stay there all evenings. On weekends, I was at the store. 24/7. That OJ trial was on.
Yeah.
And I never remember Dad really rooting. I was probably a teenager, or maybe like 11, 12. And Dad wasn't rooting for OJ. It wasn't like, oh, I'm hoping that he don't get caught up by the man. Because it was kind of like OJ. It was more we just kind of caught up in the drama of TV and stuff,
Yeah.
And then when Mark Furman, got caught up with him, which was Mark Furman was the police officer. When he got caught up with framing them and stuff and tampering with the evidence and stuff, then it became cultural, because it was like, hold on, it was one thing OJ messed around and possibly killed these people, but when it came
Allegedly.
Allegedly, thank you. But when it came down to like the system potentially framing them, then that's when I think it became super cultural.
I agree.
I think it was less so, that OJ's wife was white and he black, and then it divided the community. It came more like the law is going after somebody black,
Right.
and we got to kind of stand up for it, because we don't want that to continue to be the case, which was the whole Black Lives Matter thing, I don't think nobody was really rooting for, I forget his guy's name, George Floyd. Wasn't it? Was that George Floyd?
Yeah, that was the.
Yeah,
I
that's the
Can't
guy.
Breathe.
Yeah, I can't breathe. Right, that George Floyd. Nobody was like really like, oh man, that's my hero. He's a upstanding citizen for a community.
Because he really wasn't.
He really wasn't. He was a guy, always kind of got things hustling
Always
around,
into
whatever.
drugs and everything else.
Yeah, it became an issue when the law was,
Right.
wouldn't stand down off of him, didn't see his humanity. Then it became an issue for the community, and the same thing with OJ.
Right.
If OJ would have done it, would have watched the TV and be like, crazy, or did not do it, maybe.
Right.
We'd have all enjoyed the drama like everyone else. So,
Well, see, like that was. I think that was the time that I could tell.
yeah,
Because I grew up in Barberville. Like, we lived on Sharp Scat for a long time in Barberville, and then we moved over on Route 6. But and I had my black friend, and we'd stay at his house. His mom would watch us. His mom would give us money so that we could run up, and his mom bought my mom a Mother's Day gift from me, because there was like a little store, and I bought this gray wolf because I only had like a quarter, because that's what she gave me.
Yeah.
She gave me a quarter, and I go up there, and she's like, "Now you give that to your mama for Mother's Day." I mean, sweetest lady ever. But I never really even knew there was a racial thing until O.J. Simpson. And then it was, the more I watched, first made me want a Ford Bronco. I was like, man, that thing can outrun everything.
Bronco sales did go. Bronco sales.
I love the old Broncos.
Yeah.
These new Broncos ain't got nothing. But anyway. Continue.
But that's when you could tell that, because like you said, there was evidence planting.
Yeah.
Did there need to be? In my opinion, probably not.
Yeah.
There just needed to be an honest investigation. I think that if everybody's being honest, and I think even OJ was throwing his hands toward the end, like his book was, "I killed her," or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I didn't do it, but if I did, that's kind of crazy.
He was throwing a softball.
I'm sure his attorneys did not tell him. They did not advise him to write that book.
But at the time, you could see, and I think that that's the first time, and I'm not sure if the L.A. riots was before then or after
Yeah, it
then.
was.
Was it before then?
Before. Yeah.
But that's when I really started kind of paying attention to there being a divide, because living in this area, like I said, I grew 2.5 miles from here. This area is kind of notorious for not being welcoming to the black community.
Yeah.
Not so much now. Not so much now.
No, not, yeah.
Not so much now, but certainly when I was growing up in the 80s and the 90s. So it never even occurred to me that there was a thing, because if we'd seen a black person here, it's like, "Oh, Mom, who are they? Look at those guys."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it never was a thing until, like I said, after the OJ thing. And then when, you're a kid and you're talking about it, it's like, OJ did that.
Yeah.
And
They would say something else, but yeah. And well, even my boys, my girl never done this for some reason, but my two boys, when they was babies and they saw their first black person, like my older one called him a monster right to his face. We was in Walmart. Actually, both times in Walmart, 5 years apart from each other. But my older one, he looked at him. He said, "Monster!" And then started screaming and crying. My little boy, he just freaked out. He didn't say nothing. He just started screaming and was like, "Get me away!"
yeah. See, and that's probably our fault,
Well, I mean, it happens. It's like human nature, protection, something different. Whether it be, if you see, why people freak out about spiders and snakes.
Right.
It's like just not. We don't live in an environment that you having it all the time. So you see one that's like, okay, what's that? What's going on? What's that? What's happening? And then you have these reactions because you got to first protect, and then you can go into understanding and then
Try to
acceptance.
process it.
Yeah, you got to process it, and that's the real about it. We did the same thing in our communities. We saw a white person riding around, cars like, police. You know what I mean? Just some guy trying to deliver pizza. Yeah, that's the police.
He's undercover.
They're like, "Hey, could y'all guys?" Like, "Nope, we can't."
Yeah, but
I can't do that.
But the biggest difference though was from. I mean, you may know something different, but I've never heard or known of a black person ever being scared to talk to a white person.
Oh yeah, the biggest thugs. You go to a hood, right? You go to a hood, and everybody got guns, people. Well, not everybody. There's all stereotypes, but
Right.
Then somebody's gonna have guns. Somebody's a thug. Somebody's punching people in the face. He's tough and big and bad. And as soon as that police officer rolls around the corner, "Oh yes, sir. Oh yeah. Oh no, we ain't doing nothing, sir.
Right.
Yeah, we." Like, why'd you just punching him in the face a few minutes ago and telling him about drug deal and stuff? Now all of a sudden you, sir, and thank you, and quiet. Same thing happened, plantation. I mean, so there was a fear because it's all about authority. It's all about who's in charge, who really got the big balls, or who got the
Who's running the show?
Who's running the show is really what it comes down to. So so there's plenty of that happening everywhere you go. It's just how you want to. I went to my school was predominantly black, so it was only like a small percentage of white kids that went to our school. Literally, handful, and a lot of them had to deal with that. They had to deal with kind of being punked up a little bit because since they were there was more African Americans who were more dominant. Then they had to kind of play that lower role and stay quiet and kind of keep this side. Some of them were cool and really showed themselves, but that was a very rare person. They had to have a lot of kind of moxie for that to happen. And I'm sure the same thing happened here, because that's the other. That's how we treat others. I know in other countries where they don't really see race like that, they don't, they do it to, if you're a foreigner, like, okay, we're, we got different skin colors, but we're all countrymen. If you're from a different country, then we're going to treat you like crap. We don't care nothing about tourism, none of that. You're going to have to fit into what we're doing, here. And I think that's how humans kind of handle things.
Well, like you mentioned, groups. And like I remember one of my good friends, his name's Stephen Bridges, Barville. And he said, and he's black. He goes, Paul, he goes, listen, we don't need to go. I ain't taking you behind Rite Aid with me. He goes, you gonna stay on this side of the street, because he knew I'd get over there and run into a bunch of people, and they'd probably give me shit about being white. And he's like, no, you don't need to be over there, Paul. You stay over here. But he was trying to protect me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. And again, me and that guy grew up together. And you see that everywhere you go. I mean, unfortunately, the color of our skin, if we are, and this is we, me, this single white guy, and you, that single black guy, you get around 100 white guys, there's going to be somebody say something.
Yeah.
If I get around 100 black guys, there's going to be somebody say something about me being white.
That's going to cause me to say something.
If I show up in a Tennessee uniform at a UK game,
oh, you're going to get...
you're going to get it.
Yeah.
I'm going to get hit with a water bottle. I ain't do nothing. I'm just, hey, I'm from Tennessee. I'm saying I was.
Right.
And I like Tennessee. I like the orange, and I'm wearing it at this UK game. Somebody's like, yeah, I got this Coke can, right? They don't even give you tops. They don't even give you tops for your drinks.
You'll get it worse doing that. Like, these people around here take sports to heart.
Yeah.
Like, way more than race.
Yeah.
Race is just, that's about mid-grade compared to sports.
And why?
I prayed that comedy would fix race.
Yeah. It has.
Because I
think
absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. I wish that there were genius white comedians that could do a joke like Dave Chappelle.
Sure.
Because he can deliver it. It doesn't matter what nationality you are. The way that he delivers a joke, the skits he does, and they're all so funny to me. Yeah. Richard Pryor, same way. Yeah. But you don't have a lot of that.
Well, but that's the society we've also accepted.
Well, because you got the Theo Vons and the what's his name?
But Theo Von is retarded and funny as he is.
Yeah, but he could do a race joke as bad as a race joke you want to have, and we all let it slide.
Gary Owen can.
Gary Owen can get away.
Now, yeah, but Gary Owen,
I mean, he ain't no Chappelle, but he can say a race joke and.
Gary Owen might as well be the white Chappelle, and he's married to a black lady.
He was.
He got divorced. So she tried taking everything from him, but he still says to this day, black is the only way.
Yeah, that's his preference.
Yeah.
But I prayed that comedy would save stuff like that, because we should laugh about our differences. Because even though we're the same, there are stereotypic things that are factual about us. Or the majority of us.
It's common.
Yeah.
But we're and the beautiful thing is, like, we've all been able to. We've been on Earth long enough, which not been that long of a time, that we've seen the progress. Mm-hmm. We've seen what. I mean, I literally, when I first moved here, 2014. Remember people telling me, like, I was like, oh, I'm gonna play at Pat's I'm gonna play a show at Pat's in Manchester. And they were like, oh, don't go there.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? They were like, yeah, man, don't go to Pat's. Like, so I go to Pat's and play my show, and Charles, the owner, he come up, give me a big old hug, oh, buddy, you know, blah blah. And he told me all the time, he's like, you the first black guy I ever played in here. He literally says that.
Right.
Give me the run of the bar, treats me like gold, you know. And now for the decade, I go to Pat's and literally it's like home. And people would say, oh, don't go. Like, they would like be concerned for me for going there, or going to like a VFW and some of the VFWs and stuff. And they're like, don't go in there. I'm like, what are you talking about? You live in Corbin? What?
Yeah.
I was like, are you? I didn't have that fear because I ain't from here. But literally, black people were like, don't. I don't know why.
And you didn't know Corbin's history before.
I didn't know the history.
Yeah.
And when I got here, guess what? Corbin people told. But I think I benefited from like the Black Lives Matter movement because people didn't want to have that
Do you
stigma.
feel like people are overly nice to you because you're black?
Yes.
I mean, that's just a straight question.
Yes. People don't want that perception. They don't want to be seen like that. So they do a lot to make sure I feel comfortable. But am I mad about that? Do I fault them for that? No. What? Oh, everybody in the town treats me like gold and make sure my kids are protected. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. As long as I get a lot of opportunity. You know, I recognize that.
So long as it's genuine, right?
So long as it's genuine. And you know, and hey, do people talk about me behind my back, or maybe blame things that might go on to you know, blame me for it?
It's everybody.
I'm sure it happens. It's human nature. It's human nature. I just try to. My brother, me and him, we played rock music. My brother, he rock guitar.
Charlie Murphy.
Yeah.
You said he was dark.
Oh yeah, dark. Yeah, my brother. Yeah, he's very dark. I mean, double my darkness.
Right.
And we played grunge rock, Nirvana and Korn and stuff like that. You know,
That's
Green
awesome.
Day and Sepultura. That's kind of but in our community, people were like, "What are you doing?" You know,
Right.
So we started playing in other communities because that's where all those white kids,
They were loving
they were hanging out with us because we were like, "Oh, here's the two black guys who are playing rock music." And so, but we would go to places, and this is, you know, like I said, it's in cities, like even in Berkeley, California, which is it's hippieville, ultra liberal.
Right.
Even there, people when we walk in the place and they were like, "Oh, okay, you two playing rock music? Okay." And this is as hippie as you can get, and we still feel that tension. But he would tell me, he said, "You know what? When we're here, we're representing more than just ourselves."
Right.
And you don't want to feel that. You don't feel like you know. It's like I'm sure kids who come from here had to go to UK, or have to, you go to some Ivy League school. And it's like, okay, I'm from Southeast Kentucky. I got this accent, and they're all looking at me like, "How'd you get here?" I'm sure they had to be like, "I gotta represent."
You slow and stupid because
Yeah.
you talk like that. I've got that 100 times. Jericho was talking about him being in the army and how they just want to listen to him talk because of the way he talks.
And you probably had to.
I'm
something to
fine
prove.
with it though. I always liked it.
Good.
Because I get that little special treatment like you was just talking about.
Yeah.
But then mine wears off, or yours never does.
Yeah, it's kind of. I try not to be ashamed of who I am, and I hope that if you have what perceived as an accent, of course we all have accents. We all sound different in different places. Like, I don't know why people they get ashamed of who they are.
I never have been.
Man, maybe when I was younger, but as I'm getting older, I'm more me. Like I would here when I first got here, I really tried not to be too black and think about my black experiences because I didn't want to not so much like stand out, but I didn't want to offend or something.
You just want to tread water. You're not trying to make waves or right. No, I mean I would be the same way if I moved into an all black community. I would try to fit in the best I could.
Yeah.
That way nobody be like, man, that guy's an idiot.
Yeah.
Look at him. He's stupid.
All you gotta do is show a little crack.
People don't think I have any mechanical skills because I grew up. I kind of don't. I mean, it's kind of true, but they don't think I have any mechanical skills. Because I never grew up on a farm, or we didn't do a lot of hand work.
Right.
And it's like that's not that's not my capacity. That's not. And also, I try not to. Like I never grew up poor, so it's like I don't try to then make my existence poor just because.
Do you think that your experience being black's different because you didn't grow up poor?
I think my experience as being in Southeast Kentucky is different because I didn't grow up.
I mean, like in the city.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for 100%.
Because there was something I was talking about earlier, and I realize there is a racial difference, but there's also a big money difference.
Yeah.
That's justice may be blind, but its nose can smell money.
Yes, sir.
Amen. If I guarantee you that if you were a wealthy black man and I was a poor white man and we did the same crime, I would get more punished than you would.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
Make it rhyme.
Yeah.
What?
You're so close to making it rhyme.
But I didn't know what I was putting.
Yeah. I think to an extent, yes. There's always kind of factors. Who what who your family is, that kind of stuff. That also makes a difference too. Because we've seen.
Well, we see what's happening to P. Diddy right now.
Yeah, he's getting away with. I mean,
Epstein had to kill himself.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are a lot of similarities in those two people.
Well, not really. Because P. Diddy did it with adults. Epstein was kids.
There
there
was talk of kids.
There's no substantial thing about. And I'm not trying to protect P. Diddy. He definitely did what he did to Cassie and them. But they said, no, it was all adults and prostitution. They just try to, for whoever or however, they were trying to make him out to be more of a criminal than he was for sex stuff.
The way that I understood it
Yeah.
is that there was sex trafficking and it had kids involved in it.
Yeah.
That he was a part of that ring. No. Now, I don't know what part of it or whatever it was, but I mean, Giselle Max is fixing to get pardoned because
Crazy.
she was part of that too. And the problem is who all it takes down.
Yeah. I mean, that's really
the Jeffrey Epstein and the P. Diddy.
Yeah.
There's some big players in both of these cases that have not been exposed.
Yeah.
And that will not be exposed because the government will make sure that they do not get exposed.
Yeah. There's people who know the truth. That's just the scary part. People who know the truth, they ain't saying nothing.
Well, I mean, I can tell you with 100% confidence that Justin Bieber was part of that, and he was a minor. Mm-hmm. And when you said there wasn't any minors, there is 100% factual. There was at least him.
Gotcha. Well, I would say the stuff that they had him on, and that's where maybe the prosecution messed up, because the stuff they were getting for didn't have anything like Justin Bieber, Usher, those people in that circle, which that probably could be a whole nother case, but that's not what they were trying him for. It was like mostly his girlfriends, and
the beating, and all that other
and then
stuff.
the escorts were all adult men. He was bringing them in
from different cities and towns and states
to be
and
with his
everything.
girlfriends, which just so really it was
That's
just
a
he was
freak.
sex.
That's
It
freak
was just
stuff.
freaky, and so that's why he got off on all that stuff. But no one ever touched this stuff, like you said, Bieber's and all the. I think Cassie was like 19, and those girls were really young.
Uh-huh.
But nobody talked about it. But
yeah, exactly. And then the R. Kelly stuff.
I was about to say that. Like, Yen's been talking about all this, and I'm like, What about R. Kelly?
Yeah, Harvey Weinstein. I mean, it is.
Yeah, Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, but R. Kelly he's gone to jail. He's going to jail for a long time.
Yeah.
He's
Same
trying
with
to get out though. They tried killing him.
The problem is that he just isn't the player.
Yeah.
That everybody like. He's got no money playing a high stakes room.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like
Yeah,
all the
yeah,
players
yeah, yeah.
around him,
He don't have money like P. Diddy.
billionaires.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
needing to borrow money to pay attorneys. Is last I heard, or whatever.
Well, yeah, but he started the child sex trafficking stuff.
with Aaliyah.
Yeah, but I think it was like a scheme to try to become a billionaire. You know.
So I don't know what I mean though is, that money changes things.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what color you are.
Does not.
Yeah. It'll be a big factor for sure.
Now, you mentioned George Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
What are your feelings toward that?
I felt.
Now he is the one that got beat, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, he got the knee put on his neck. He
Oh,
got picked up
Suffocated.
for
They
he got
suffocated.
suffocated. He got picked up for something.
I think he was trying to pass counterfeit money, wasn't he?
Yeah, past counterfeit money, and then they held him up, and then the police officer held him down and until he died. Now, see, I always felt like this when it came to that. Like, I always felt like the police officer was like stuck, like he was stuck. I don't think he wanted to kill this guy. Some people might say, I don't think he wanted to kill that guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was kind of stuck between the people like, hey man, leave him alone, the kind of thing. And him trying to, enforce the law or do it, do whatever it was he doing, whether it be right or wrong. And he just got stuck and didn't know what to do. He's like, I'm just holding this guy down. I don't know, man. Y'all gonna leave me alone or let me do my job or y'all tripping.
Right.
The next thing you know, this guy's dead. So it's bad policing on his part, right?
Right.
And the issue is, and you guys might not have experienced this the way I experienced this, but in black communities, George Floyd was just another one of many. I didn't realize that the police, like I didn't know my rights, that the police could just stop you for any reason just because they saw you walking down the street. I thought, they said they want to check your pockets, check. I thought that was just part of what police did. Until you find out, like, oh no, in other places, a lot of white places, police don't do that. Maybe in like a New York or something like that, but it's also got to have mixed communities. I wonder how it is here. Would the police see you like, oh, that's a knucklehead, let me go ahead and stop him and check him.
I mean, even here, crap.
Your reputation follows you.
Corbin
Yeah.
Police has been making a bad appearance here lately. I would say that. Beating people and stuff.
Yeah,
But
Listen, I love the Corbin Police.
sure. Same
oh,
here.
look, Corbin.
And I'm proud to be American.
Police.
And at least I know.
Here's the thing.
Back
I
to
don't
blue.
give a crap. I respect the Corbin Police too,
Yeah.
except for when they try to overpower.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, and I'm going to just say people in general, because there's a lot of people that's like this.
Yeah.
Out of uniform, you could be an amazing person, but there's a lot of them when they put that uniform on, they're like, I am the higher power.
Yeah.
They let that get to their heads, and they forget what law is truth and what law is something they made up. And that's I don't know.
Well, that's what was happening in a lot of the inner city communities and people that when they were dealing with the policing issue. It was like we were having an issue with things coming apart, and we were using sledgehammers, which are the police officers, to try to bring the community back together and get it right. Instead of using like glue and binding and sewing. We're using the wrong tool. And that was where the issues were coming in, and they weren't doing that in other communities. And America had the money and the resources, but it was like, let's crack down on crime, which is understandable. But we learned eventually, oh, you can't just lock everybody up for doing a crime. Crime don't go down like that. And now we're going back to it.
Well, it's really tough to get a read on it.
Yeah.
So I can tell you that if I was a police officer and I knew a lot of drug activity was happening at this house, I would watch this house more than I would watch any other house.
Yeah.
I would watch the people coming out of this house more than I would watch people going out of other houses, because that's where the drugs are. And if I can eliminate this problem, then I can keep it here or keep these people safe from it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But then at the same time, people have constitutional rights.
Yes.
You know, you have a constitutional right to walk freely wherever you want to. You don't have to, with search and seizure and all that other crap, you don't even have to identify yourself if you're not breaking the law, you know?
Yep.
So,
I mean, even on a traffic stop, if it is not a legit traffic stop, you don't even have to present your ID.
Mm-hmm.
so the thing that's the part that I struggle with.
Yeah.
Because I know here that people get reputations, and I have a lot of friends that are police, and they'll tell you, or they probably won't tell you, but I'll say that, hey, listen, if Jim Bob gets out, there's a 99% likelihood that Jim Bob's got weed or dope on him. We need to get Jim Bob off the street and get him back in jail.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Jim Bob has created himself a target because of all of the things that he's done prior.
Yeah.
And I understand that.
But what if that label that Jim Bob had goes to everybody that just looks like Jim Bob, not just Jim Bob?
It does. They do that.
You know, it's like, oh, that's Jim Bob's cousin. I know he said he's going to, the library, but I'm gonna watch him.
Right.
I'm gonna pick him up just because I want to get more information on Jim Bob, whatever. It's not constitutionally right, but that's how they're gonna investigate it. And then, he gets picked up something. Then, one day he's hanging out with Jim Bob. Jim Bob got a gun and weed on him, or whatever, and he's just hanging out with Jim Bob as his cousin.
Right.
He gets picked up and he get booked too. I got both of y'all. He's like, I'm just hanging out with him. Oh, I got both of y'all. Now he got a record, and then he can't get it. It's a slippery slope, and that is how policing was done for so long. And then people were looking, people look at people with all these crimes and felonies, and it's like, oh, you guys just be messing up. It's like, nah, they just got caught up in the system.
Who do you send in a neighborhood if you don't send in the police? If you have a bad neighborhood, who do you send in it instead of the police?
So right now, there's a Philly. In Philly, they got a program, and this has happened in other cities, but I just happened to watch a thing on it. So they took some ex offenders, right? They started a nonprofit. They paid them money, and they mitigate. I heard these two, kids were hanging out selling drugs over in some corner. They send them over there, right? And they go talk to them, work it out, make them work it out. And kids respect those guys for coming out of jail. They, get them like, hey, look, instead of doing that, we got this summer rec league. Okay, so then they go play basketball together, right? These two rival gangs go play basketball together. That's working out. Hey, we got these summer jobs. Moving on to summer jobs, helping them fill out college applications. Make sure they get their GED. Make sure their mom got food, right? And now the crime in Philly plummets. Like, it's going way down.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like and that's not just there, but other places that are having these kind of programs seem like a win-win, right? But then now they're starting to roll back the funding on it. It costs too much. There's nobody who can really check on, make sure if it's really effective and stuff. Less people are dying, less drugs on the street, less police officer having to, do stuff. I think that's a good, on the surface, to me, that's a good program. That's the kind of thing you need. You need people in that community who's willing. Like I always said that we need a community grandparent program.
Yeah, you were mentioning that last episode.
I believe in that so hard.
Stay with them until they're 28 or something.
Man, pay some older retired people who willing to do it, or some, they don't have to be retired. Be foster parent type people, where you messing up, you're a knucklehead, and your parents are having problems because a lot of times these knucklehead kids, for that we blame the parents for, they working 2-3 jobs. They can't watch the kid all day long. Kids feels neglected.
Right.
They out there just wilding. Right. They had somebody who go and check on the kid. Hey, did you get your homework done? Did you do this? Hey, I'm gonna make sure I'll drive you to the practice and drive you back home so you ain't gotta walk. Just some small things, community-based stuff. I think would be so good. It would work. Growing up, my mom was all about eat no fat. Everything is low fat. Everything no fat at all. We eat a lot of food out of cans because it wouldn't. It's vegetables and it's out of a can, so it's healthy. And then come to find out, oh no, you needed healthy fats and stuff. You needed certain things. Everybody did keto, no carbohydrates. Now we learned, it has brain issues with the carbohydrates. So it's like when you learn better, you do better. And when we get, we could do the same thing in our communities. We learning better. We've seen the patterns. Let's not go back to the war on drugs. We saw what happened with that. America became the highest incarcerated country in the world. In the whole world? We the highest incarcerated country in the whole world. That don't even make any sense.
So there's a couple things that, all right, so I 100% believe that during the Martin Luther King era of our country, that the CIA and everybody else deliberately fed drugs to the African American communities to keep them down. I believe that. I believe there's a lot of other people that believe that. And that set everything back. Like that, the things that were planted during that time, some people still haven't overcome. And then the culture shifted, like you had said, like with R&B and everything else. And then, we started seeing the NWA. And then it's like F the police. But then it set a new culture that wasn't great for the community either.
Yeah.
And it was, that we fantasized smoking weed every day and hanging out with hoes.
Yeah.
And that changed things again. It set things back again.
Yeah.
And that's really tough stuff to overcome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something else I wanted to say was I was 100% behind everything about the George Floyd movement until the riots.
Yeah.
I'm 100% behind most of the movements until the riots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when I'm like, nah.
What's up, Roy?
No, we're not. Nobody's making any fans here. There ain't nothing. I understand that people feel like they need to do this to be heard.
Gotcha.
But they didn't. I heard loud and clear from the George Floyd. I was like, you know what? If that dude did have his knee on his neck that long, he should go to prison. He should get convicted for murder.
Yeah.
Same as if they ever find out which police officer shot and killed this Doug Harless. If he did it, the white guy in London.
Yeah.
If they did it, then he should go to jail for murder. I mean, that's how I feel. I don't think that the law is above anybody.
Gotcha.
That if you break the law that you're sworn to protect, then maybe you should even be held to a higher standard than everybody else.
Well, that was a wrongful execution. So, yeah, that person, whoever done that, definitely deserves to go to jail.
Yeah.
Roy said, "What's up?" So,
I've seen that.
what's up, Roy?
So what?
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the
Riots.
The riots, right? Somebody hurt your child, right? Hurt your child. Do we go, well, let me call the police and see what the police will do? This other kid accidentally, he killed my kid and, just being a little bully, killed my kid. So I'm just going to wait for the police to come and sort it all out and talk to the principal and, we see what the families want to do about it. Or do you go up to you go up there or some drug head that I hate to call somebody a drug head, but some drug head or whatever, somebody you don't like.
I mean, you just call
hurt
it
your
what
kid.
it is.
You see him, right? It's like, oh, I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna whoop you. Now that I see you killed my kid, I'm gonna whoop on you. I don't care, in court, at the funeral, wherever I see you at, it's on. That's what happened to the community. They were like, we out here marching. We saying, hey man, get the knee off the neck. Blah 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 blah. You know what? It's not right. They're always doing this to us. They won't stop doing this to us. People are like, well, you got to take them to court. Blah blah blah. You know what they said? We shutting down the street. We're gonna march in the street. Well, you shouldn't really march in the street. There was an emergency. You know what? We're gonna kick over this car. Well, that's kind of wrong. We're gonna burn this place down. That's crazy. It's crazy to know that all that mayhem and craziness. We really shouldn't be staying on people's neck. And that's how that comes about. Until you burn it down. Until you burn it down.
Proverbially,
Yeah.
how many other necks got stepped on by that?
1 billion next.
Okay, 100 shop owners
Yeah.
got their shops burnt down.
Yeah.
Got all their stuff stolen from them. That wasn't to save anybody. That wasn't about a protest.
Sure.
Stealing their shit was not about going to save George. It wasn't going to do nothing.
Nope.
It didn't do no good at that point.
Oh, it did good, but it was unnecessary. I mean, no, take that back.
It didn't do any good.
It was immoral and craziness,
It got attention.
but it got their attention.
It got attention, but it didn't
And
do
guess
any
what?
good.
And guess what? When that is like people wanted to stop it. So guess what? They gave them an audience. All right, stop all this craziness. We got to stop this, and we got to be peaceful. Okay. Well, listen. Since you guys are all being crazy, all right, we'll talk. We'll make a little task force, and we'll talk about what's the issues. Oh, okay. We can talk now. Now that we rioted, now we're talking. You can demonize who you want to demonize, but now you listening. You were my bully. You were hurting me. You were taking my people. You were locking us up like crazy. Now I punched you in your face. And now everybody wants to talk about it. When at first you could have talked about it a long time ago, but you didn't want to take the time to do that. And that's where the problem comes in. If only they would have said, "Oh, the first couple times, oh man, this is against people's rights. You shouldn't do that. We're going to be some police reform. We don't want to see people doing this. We don't want to see what happened to this person, that person." No, they just said that's like, look, man, what we're going to do? We got to get the bad guy. 2 million people in jail right now, all Americans. Well, there's nothing we could do about the war on crime. Now they burning down your streets and stuff. Now you want to talk. It's Wild Wild West. Rifleman. You watch the Rifleman? We watched the Rifleman.
You mentioned that earlier, and I asked my mother about it. I was like, I don't remember that show. She goes, yeah, no, it's good. The thing, do you think that there is an effort, a conscious effort by our government to keep us at our necks?
Nah, they just trying to do whatever they can to get money.
All right, so that's I feel like that there is a divide created by the government.
Yeah.
I feel like we are all lit.
That's what started the Civil War.
Well, no. I mean, like, when they showed the videos of the rioters, and then they're like, I can't believe they're doing this to our town, our cities. And you know who they showed?
Yeah.
Black people, black
people.
business owners, black business owners. That's who they showed. See, even black people are getting hurt by these riots and this and that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was demonizing, and it was different news that showed different visions of what was going on.
Yeah.
And it was all kind of led. Some would even say that, and again, this is just me jumping to my conspiracy side also.
Yeah.
That, was funded, that groups were brought in to help create more of riots during that.
Could have been. Yeah, could have been.
No, really.
I wouldn't be surprised.
They did that. Like, that's the Civil War and everything. The government found out if they can get us to fight each other, we would never bother them.
Yeah. I mean, that's kingships in a nutshell.
Well, I just feel like a lot of people, or that we are fed narratives. You know what I mean?
Propaganda.
The reason why that the Doug Harless thing isn't national news is because it wasn't a black officer that killed him.
Or it wasn't a
Still
black
an
man.
officer that killed a man,
Yeah.
but it wasn't a black officer. So this isn't going to get spoke about.
Or a
It's going
white
to be
officer.
local.
that
It's
killed
going
a
to be
black
very
man.
local, and that'll be it.
Yeah.
But the moment that you mix race with something, you remember the Zimmerman,
Yeah.
Trayvon Martin and Zimmerman.
Trayvon Martin, man.
You know how much heat white people packed over that?
Yeah.
And Zimmerman was Spanish,
Yeah.
and Trayvon Martin was black.
Yeah.
Had nothing to do with white people.
But but people kind of took to that.
But people made it a white and black thing,
Yeah.
you know, and it was, and it shouldn't be a thing made anyways. Zimmerman was a bullshit security officer that had no business thinking he's going to shoot somebody to police an area that he's not a policeman in anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just common sense.
Yeah. He was just kind of an idiot.
He was an idiot.
Yeah. And it cost
He-
somebody their life.
And then he became a bigger idiot later. Didn't he do something else later?
Yeah, he did. If I'm not mistaken, yeah.
And it's like, but it was something used as a dividing.
Because day in, day out, we watch the coverage.
Yeah.
Advertisers still going strong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Books are written, movies are made. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, and it was an important topic because things like that do happen. You know, people see. You know, it's an important topic because people see somebody like, Trayvon Martin with his hoodie on, walking in the neighborhood. You get that uneasy feeling. No sugarcoating. You know, I've had that feeling, and I'm a black man.
I've
I
had
walk,
that too.
I walk in
Walking in
places, and you're like,
Places full of white people.
like, what's the?
Well-
I never really feel that way. White people, but because I do recognize that the propaganda of media has led me that way. You know what I mean?
Propaganda. That was the word I've been looking for.
Yeah, that's
A lot of propaganda.
Well, one thing neither one of you have spoke about is the black on black crime.
sure.
It overpowers any police crime toward the black or white toward black. There's more black on black crime and deaths
Yeah,
than there is anything else.
yeah, but there's also more white on white crime, Asian on Asian.
Yeah,
crime. Yeah,
but-
that's the key is who has the power. For instance, in a black community, in a black neighborhood, yes, blacks gonna kill blacks because that's who's in your proximity. It's who you
It's
near.
the proximity thing.
Yeah, who's who you near. But who can come in and take the property away? See, blacks can't come here because we can, just come and buy up all this land here and take it away, and come up with some zoning law that would then make it so that you can't build your farm and get rid of your business. But that's happened a lot in black communities. We got to remember that's how we got the hoods. There was no hood, in those terms before people
Housing projects.
yeah, the housing projects, stuff like that. Before they start separating families, before blacks had certain businesses, and people just felt afraid for some reason. I don't know, and maybe I just don't know all the histories, but for some reason people got fear, and they started making rules that took away black people's stuff, and then put them just toss them over here to this place.
Let's put them all in this high-rise apartment.
Yeah.
But I mean,
And that's why. So black
If you
on black,
think, if
black
you
on black
think of
crime
history-
is big, but it's like everybody.
but if you think of your history,
Yeah.
I get why your culture has always feared.
Yeah.
I mean, look, slavery. Look how they was treated then
Yeah.
and stuff, and I mean it was the bottom of your shoe, really. That's all white people ever looked at
Yeah.
the blacks as. Beatings, hangings. I mean, everything.
Slavery was longer than American history.
Yes, but what?
Slavery was before the American.
Yeah, that's right. Before there was American history, there was
Well-
slavery.
But the fear, up in the 80s and 90s, that fear was
Yeah.
still there because of that. With the white people had such a grasp and a power over your fear, or their fear, not yours, but
Yeah.
their fear.
Yeah.
It was just unbearing. But now times have eased up, and
But it's just starting. We just get
it's just starting to ease
we just
up.
start that. So
But-
we still in the infancy stage of that. We're still just, you know what I mean? We had the great honorable Barry Obama, my president. Yeah, he had a lot of drone strikes. Let's not talk about that.
Who's probably going to jail? Ain't they trying to put him in jail?
They can't. He too cool.
Anyway,
He too cool, man.
he was a fantastic statement.
He was a fantastic statement. And it's something. I mean, his name was Barack Obama. He has a brother had to be smooth to get that make that work. But anyway,
Hussein.
I was like, nah, there's no really. I was like, that's pretty awesome. All right. That definitely showed a lot of change, right? That showed a lot of change in people's attitudes, people's acceptance, that kind of stuff. But now we're kind of moving away from, like, for instance, okay, here we go. DEI. Let's talk about it.
I hate it.
DEI.
Hate
Diversity, equity, inclusion is seen as not right because it's not equal.
Right. That's
not right because
that's
it's
my
not
problem with it. Yeah.
All right. So why? What's the purpose?
So are you
I
talking
think that the more qualified person should always get the job.
Okay, you answer it. I just want to make sure we're talking
That's
about
what I
within
I
a
don't
work.
feel like anybody should get a leg up. If you're smarter than I am about a position that we've applied for, you should get the position. That should be it. It shouldn't be a racial or an inclusion kind of thing, that the right candidate gets the job based on their credentials. That it should be a merit-based hiring system.
Very good. Very good.
Okay.
It should be a merit-based hire.
But as you just said, we're just now getting in them times where things are starting to ease up. White
Well, see,
people.
they just took that away. That's what you're getting at, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
no, they took.
what DEI really did for us was had people. It changed the mindset, because you see somebody with autism, and you go, well,
They getting hired.
I can't. He can't pick up a carts. I can't have this person in my business. They mentally handicapped, and I can't have them around. That's too much of a liability.
But they're scared that they'll get in trouble if they turn them down.
But DEI was like, hey, give them an interview. You didn't have to hire them. You just had to give them an interview. You're going to look at all these people, got a couple people with, got a little thing on there. Give them an interview. See if they work. See if it works out. Woman mechanic. She, all her life, around cars. She loves cars. She knows everything about cars. I can't know women no women know about no shops.
So that's just ignorant. That's ignorant.
I know. Same. That's all DEI is.
I agree.
That's what DEI is. It says give everybody a look. Because before you just say black people, they're strong, fast, good with the hands. They're very they can follow directions, but they can't do analytical work. That's not them. Not thinking that the people who sent us to Mars. You guys ever watch that movie? Oh my gosh! So the people who checked the calculations for was a group of black women. Yeah, black women who manually checked the calculations for NASA sending people to Mars. Which I know you don't believe that we went there, but I knew it. I knew it. The people who sent us to that flat plane on that studio.
Yeah,
Black women.
Yeah,
black women.
It had. I was trying to think. It had Kevin Costner in it.
Yeah,
and then it had the
Taraji P. Henson.
The one. Now she's interesting because I think she's probably one of the best actors, and to find out that she's been underpaid on everything that she's ever done is interesting to me. Again, I think she is brilliant. I think she's right up there with Denzel. Like she's brilliant.
Really is.
Hustle and Flow was one of her better movies.
That was cool. But so the key for that DEI is not that you're hiring people unqualified. It's giving other people a look. Veterans. People just think of them as meatheads.
Well, DEI is what also started making companies put equal opportunity in all of their stuff.
Yeah.
See,
Which they still do.
That I had was it's not merit based, and this has never happened to me. However, it has worked in I worked in a factory. Okay, and I'll be completely honest. SEK Barberville, SEKRI or whatever in Barberville.
Yeah.
I was working down there. We were doing military supply things or whatever. My buddy Steven helped me get the job. My black friend Steven Bridges helped me get the job. I tell him about something, and I'd be like, Steven, man, you can't do that. He'd be like, well, let them fire me. Because I'll have them wrapped up with their racism before you know it.
Yeah.
Like, he played it.
Yeah.
He played it.
Yeah.
It wasn't a secret. It wasn't a secret. Like, he would damn near refuse to work because he knew nothing would get said to him.
Yeah.
Because the moment that it did get said to him, he would play a race card.
It's like woke. You know, it's like so many people were kind of mad about woke. You know, it's like the message of woke is, hey, pay attention to what's happening. And then, you know, it went from pay attention to what's happening, like, do as I'm telling you because I'm telling you you're ignorant. Now, you can't do anything. You just need to shut up because I'm telling you you're wrong. That's what woke went from. Went from, hey, man, pay attention to what's happening. See, you know, listen to other people. To now I'm in charge. You only could do the extreme thing I'm telling you to do.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
I thought woke
I'm
was.
glad you said that.
I thought woke was transgender stuff.
No.
Well, the problem
No,
with
that's not
all
what
of
it is
this,
at all.
all these different ideologies that come along,
Yeah.
is that they cross a line somewhere.
Yeah.
Like in the infancy of their beginning, you try to understand. Okay, this is going to sound really crappy, but this is no sugarcoating podcast.
Yeah.
I have zero problem with any gay person. Zero problem with any gay person.
I don't know either until they hit on
However,
me.
well, and then there's the way over the top.
Yeah.
Obviously, that doesn't represent the 99% of the others.
Yeah.
But a crowd forms around the way over the top. And it starts as one. Then it starts as two. And then it starts as three. And then you've got this way over the top group that's not speaking for the majority of the group. That's kind of even how I've seen the Black Lives Matter, where it's like, you know, these people that are doing this, they're doing a disservice to the people that are really trying to make a difference. These people looting these stores, burning these places down, they're doing a disservice because our attention is on it, you know? But then it always goes to that next level where it's like, all right, guys, I'm out. I'm out. I've played with you guys this long, and now you just kind of got so far out there that I can't be part of this no more.
Well, you're
And
talking.
the majority of the group don't even agree with it. Like,
Yeah.
my sister's gay. My had a transgender in our family for a long time, and it's like I don't have any problems. I had conversation after conversation with the transgender. I don't even want to say transgender because he has his name Carter.
But you're talking about the attention seekers.
No, I'm talking about the group of people that take the light from the cause.
That's the attention seekers. So you always have what you're calling over the top. This is just my thought on that. You mentioned gays. What I'll use them as an example. You got your humble gays, right?
Humble is not the word. You don't have to be humble and gay. You just have
No,
you have
listen.
gay.
Yeah, you have gay, the humble gays one. That's the gay one. Listen to me now. Hold on now. But then you got them over the top ones. This man that makes sure every inch of him is maked up. You know, has makeup on, has the flashy clothes, all this and that. They're like the kingpins. And if you don't follow them, if you don't, you know,
Let me give you the
attention
example
them.
I was getting at. March down our streets. That's fine. Don't go to the library and read books to my kids. Don't bring it to my kids.
yeah.
Make your statement. Do that. That's fine. But don't come dressed in all drag telling me that we've got to let you in the library to read to my kids. That's not okay. That's where a line kind of gets.
That's
Do what you want to be. You do you be whoever you want to be, but don't force it down my throat.
Can we then take the 10 Commandments down out of classrooms?
You know what? I've actually struggled with this because Danny Potter had this going on in Jackson County. It was a big deal.
Very big.
He was like, yeah, you know, no, you can't take the 10 Commandments out of the classroom. And, you know, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know. You know, because it is a state-run institution, and there's the Constitution clearly states the separation of state and religion. It says that. So I don't know.
But it's what founded this country.
Maybe.
Maybe, but it states in it.
Let's do what the Quakers did then, right? We should all be Quakers. If we're going to follow you should be no Baptists, should be no Methodists,
No Pentecostals. It's all one
all
denomination.
Quakers. We all Quakers. We go back to the little hats and cobble shoes, and you know what I mean? I should be out tending a field somewhere. But that's not what we did.
I'd
we
be fine with that.
We kept. I mean, I wish I would be too. But as long as there's drum sets there. I don't know what kind of drums the Quakers play.
They're called congos. They're called
But it's the ruling class always feels like, and I'm not identifying you as ruling class. I'm just saying
No,
the
'cause
ruling class.
I've already established myself as a poor hill.
yeah, that's right. The ruling class always feels like it's right for me, not thee. It's like if we're gonna say that flamboyant or out there gay people can't try to get kids to listen to their stories or have their parades all crazy, a big old over the top type of parade, that we shouldn't have big huge we shouldn't have the Bible bus at the school. I'm a Christian, so you know what I mean?
Right.
So
But where do you draw the line at that?
Exactly.
But
That's what we got.
Would you suggest that if we
you asked me where.
have
You asked me where. So right now, a lot of the schools, your kids can if kids want to have a club, Christian club, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
If kids want to have a Muslim club, no problem. If kids try, I feel like, well, it may not be so much now, but 5 years ago, if kids want to have a Muslim club at one of our schools here, people would have a big problem with it.
yeah,
I feel like they would, yeah.
But Christianity,
I don't have
Christianity, Islam ain't that different. Ain't that much different.
but everybody, even kids, should have a choice.
Yes.
There should be their decision, not a persuaded decision.
that's-
But putting it on the wall.
What you say there is double.
Yeah.
So are you saying that kids could say that they're transsexual
No,
if they can have a choice? Then
They can have a
again,
choice.
That's that gray area.
but here, no, hold on. No, here's the biggest difference: is we all was raised by level-headed parents. Would you agree?
I mean, I'm gonna go ahead for this example. Yeah. I love you, mom and dad. You guys are great.
Okay.
Yes.
So we was all raised by level-headed people. I know everybody that raised me, they didn't push me in any direction. They let me grow up the way I wanted to. All right, so I'll just leave you guys out of it. I'll just use myself as an example.
Right on.
No one pushed me any direction.
yeah.
I got to decide everything I've ever done. My fate was on my hands. I mean, yeah, they would give opinions. They would say, I don't like that, but if you do, oh well,
Yeah.
whatever. Were all the kids or teenagers or young adults, what you'd call them nowadays, that are transgender or, born a woman, but I'm, actually a man or whatever you want to call them, they was pushed into that.
Well, why would you? I mean,
I don't know that they were.
it's
I think I would say 90% of
Okay.
because every job I've ever had, well, a lot of jobs, I ain't gonna say every, but a lot of jobs I've had, I've had to go into people's houses.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying this just off of what I've seen
Yeah.
throughout my life. Like, I can't say names because I don't know names, but
Yeah.
I went into one house. This boy answers the door, I'd say mid-teen, answers the door. And I was like, he a little weird. I could tell he's dressed a little different.
Yeah.
And this was back when this stuff first started happening. I was transgender and all this and that. It was just starting to happen. So I wasn't very familiar with it. But then I see this and I'm like, whoa, okay. Another little boy, younger than this one, comes out. Same way. But he was even more feminine. And then another little boy comes out, even younger than them two. Mm-hmm. Even more feminine dressed and stuff. I'm like, what in the crap's going on? Well, and then the mom comes out. And it all made sense. She was persuading them to be that way. She was doing it right in front of me. Like telling them to go put their makeup on and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, these are boys. You shouldn't be telling boys to do that.
Yeah.
And I've seen that numerous times. So I physically have seen parents persuading their kids to be this way.
Let's go back to what he was saying.
Okay.
No, that's
Go
fine.
back.
No. I'm gonna- of course, it's going to be on all that. I know. I got friends who are they're brothers, and the one brother, the two brothers, super. Every sport, super athletic. You know what I mean? Like just knock each other in the head. That's all that. And then one brother, he's very effeminate, and we used to make fun of him and stuff like that. And I don't know if they'll ever see this podcast, but they'll know what I'm talking about. But he's very effeminate and stuff, and we make fun of him, and we tease him, and sometimes we treat him bad because he was very effeminate. Parents were just regular parents. They didn't really go for that, and he had dressed like a boy. He had to be everything a boy. But now he's a fashion designer. He's a gay man. Liz, and that was when we knew that. 3 years old, we knew that about him. Right. It had zero to do with his
Look,
parents.
and I get that. There is some people.
And same thing with the opposite side, right? It's like, like if you're a baseball family or if you're a UK family, like, you're UK mainly because you live here. You're, most likely because your parents it's like Christian. If we lived in, Turkey or somewhere, we'd probably be Muslim. Most likely we'd be, it's like, so it can be cultural, but also some people like feet. And some people like boobs, and some people like coffee.
I like the full package.
Yeah, I like all those things. But, but those preferences, we look at all the billions and billions of humans, we're going to have somebody who's going to be, in all these categories. The question is, for me, and what I'm always kind of, all right, we're in a society. And our responsibilities for each other. I know we always talk about how independent we all are and my own rights and stuff, which is important. But in order for this thing to work, I got to give to you. You have to give to him, And so if we're men, a big part of that responsibility is the protection, the strength, you know what I mean? Working through, non-emotionally on things. We're not saying women. Women are emotional. What trying to hide something. In general, women are more emotional. They pay attention to detail, that kind of stuff. With the gender things that we see and we observe. It's like, so my son, even if he wanted, like, hey, I love men, Dad. I love men, and that's why I'm on a date. Like, okay, you love men, which feel a certain type of way to me. I still need you to get strong. You still gonna need to do these push-ups.
I'm glad that you said it. That's and I'm not trying to interrupt you.
Sure.
But what I was thinking when we talk about sex and stuff, when we talk about sexual preferences,
Yeah.
when we're talking about children, as fathers, we need to start with foundation. Okay, and foundation, and this isn't, I think, well, maybe this is just my own belief, but, sex isn't the foundation of who we are. It doesn't make us who we are. The foundation needs to be, and this, you don't have to be God, but what?
Sorry, my mic was muted that entire time.
Yeah.
Ah, jeez, Pete.
I didn't know you
I muted it when I moved my thing over. So, let me bring that back. So, you're talking about, fathers and our kids and this and that. And, I think that, sex isn't the foundation of our kids. And it's our responsibility to protect that foundation.
True.
I've got it fixed now, Jessica. Thank you.
Didn't take a time.
And, I think that, when we talk about people speaking to our children, that sex shouldn't be anything that gets spoke to them at all, or it needs to be explained to them outside of what happens in our home. I think that, as fathers, our job is to create that foundation. And you don't have to believe in God, but you need to believe in something.